I'm Stuart, and I'm the owner of Your Car Haggler, and I want to be your car haggler. I'm a licensed auto broker helping you save time, money, and the aggravation involved when it comes to buying a car and all of the games that come with it. These videos are all about information and education so you can be better prepared to buy a vehicle. But better yet, have me help and be your car haggler. Let's go. Leasing, one of the most confusing aspects of car buying. I'm going to break down for you the over 10 different factors that all determine your lease price. Whenever I was walking the lot with a customer and they would say, oh, what's the lease price of this Camry, or what's the lease price of this Volkswagen? It is impossible for any salesperson to tell you to the penny exactly what that vehicle is going to cost you in a lease, because there are so many different variables. So if you do find yourself talking to a salesperson and they start to mumble and fumble over what a potential lease price may be, that is common. But something that I would do is kind of have a general idea of what that car could lease for. That conversation would go something like this. Oh, to lease this RAV4 with your fees and taxes down, 10,000 miles per year, excellent credit, would be somewhere in this payment range. And I would always give myself some buffer there. And that was a way for the customer to kind of gauge whether or not it was in their budget, if they didn't want to disclose that to me ahead of time. But we're going to get into the over 10 different variables, their definitions, what they mean, how they affect your monthly payment. Your credit score is so important to purchasing a vehicle, as it is to so many other different things in life. But if your credit is below a certain mark, you may not even be eligible for leasing. So let's say you have a 612 credit score, you want to roll over some negative equity, you have nothing to put down, the leasing company may not even extend leasing to you. They may very well just deny your ability to leasing. Let's say your credit score is typically 700, 720 or above. You are usually going to be qualified for the top level of leasing. So whenever you see that little fine print on a leasing ad, it always is based off of top tier credit. But let's say your credit score is a little less than perfect. It's 680, 690, good income, not high debt. You might fall into the second or third tier. So that might bump your payment or the money factor up. $20 a month, $10 a month, $30 a month. There are 7 different tiers for some banks. There might be more or less for others. A money factor is typically a 0.000 something number. That is what determines your cost of interest over the course of your lease. That money factor used to be as low as 0.00001, but with COVID and interest rates rising, manufacturers have raised their rates. So it is not uncommon now to see equivalent money factor somewhere in the 5 to 7 to 9% range. To find what the actual APR equivalent of a money factor is, you would take that number and multiply it by 2,400. Money down. Money down is another important aspect of what determines your lease payment. On a traditional 36-month lease term, every $1,000 is going to lower your payment approximately $30 a month. With interest rates and money factors being a little bit higher, it might be a little bit more than $30 a month. Let's say you're leasing for 39 months or 48 months. A good gauge is to take that $1,000 and divide it into the term that you want to go, 39 or 48, add $5, $6 a month for interest, and you can kind of gauge at how much money you might be comfortable putting down. I would always say to my clients that would say, well, how much money should I put down on this lease? I've heard you should put nothing down. You should put 10 grand down. You should put 5 grand down. I would always say, whatever you're comfortable with. It's a matter of your down payment to monthly payment. If you want a $400 payment and it's going to take you $2,500 to get there, then put that down. But if you're comfortable with an almost $480 payment, then don't put anything down. There's no way to tell you exactly what is the right amount of money to put down. It's all a matter of your comfort level from down payment to monthly payment. Miles per year. If you want 7,500, 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 18,000, the amount of miles that you want to drive per year is also going to affect the residual value. The residual value is what the manufacturer bank believes the value of the vehicle is going to be at the end of the lease. So let's take a 60% residual at 10,000 miles per year. If you want to go to 12,000 miles per year, that residual may go down 1 or 2 percentage points, which means that you're paying for a larger percentage of that vehicle. The term also affects the residual. So let's say you want to do 48 months, that might possibly be the lowest payment. Sometimes some domestic brands like General Motors prefer 24-month term. They want their vehicles back at 24 months. So the cost difference between 24 and 36 and 48 could be drastically different. I know from experience that Toyota likes their vehicles back at 3 years. Every so often, they would give an attractive 39-month lease option, but more often than not, 36 months was the only term that made sense to do. 24 months was maybe $80 to $100 more. 48 months was similar money more. So Toyota pretty much only leases at 36 months because that is when they want their vehicles back. It's a game that you kind of need to play. If you want to go 36 months at $12K, could potentially be the same payment 39 months at $15K. I'm not saying that's the case with every vehicle, but there's different factors that you could do and play and manipulate and see what makes the most sense for you. You always want to make sure of how much extra miles cost at the end of the lease, because there is always a charge for extra miles should the lease get turned back directly into the manufacturer. Also be careful not to get too many miles because you don't get that money back. It's going to have a slightly higher payment than the lower miles, and that money may very well be wasted. But make sure you check your miles before you ever lease a vehicle. How many miles do you drive to and from work? Do you plan on traveling? I've had customers and clients say, I drive 10,000 miles for work, so 12,000 should be enough. They think that 2,000 miles is going to cover them for a full 12 months. But when you break that down, they're nowhere close. They definitely need higher mileage. In other cases, you might very well be able to go into a 7,500 mile lease if you live very close to home and you don't travel a lot. So there's all sorts of different options for you to be had miles wise. The MSRP of the vehicle, that's what the residual is based off of. So say a $30,000 vehicle with the 60% residual, you're going to pay that 40% depreciation plus money factor plus acquisition fee. We're going to get into that later. But the MSRP of the vehicle is what that residual is used for. Number 8, you're just going to have to stay tuned for when I post my next video. Apparently there's a notification bell somewhere you can click and get notified when I post the next video that'll have the other 7 things that determine your lease price. Thanks for watching this video. I'm Stuart and I want to be your car haggler no matter where you live. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, tell your best friend, tell your worst friend. No matter where you live, I can help you beat the dealership so they don't screw you.